Arisa and I just graduated from high school. In my sophomore and junior year, I self-studied for a couple of AP exams and wanted to share with you a few of the tips I wish I knew before self-studying for AP exams without prior experience. These tips can be helpful for anyone trying to score a 5 on their next AP exam, or a quick how to study for an AP exam guide in order to get you started on studying for the APs. So here are the 8 tips I wish I knew before trying to self-study for these AP exams. Number 1 is to check out the AP Central College Board sites. Everything you need to know about the exam, the content, the basic resources, and it's a really good starting point from which you can get to know what you're dealing with in this AP exam. For example, there's guides on course description, rough overview of the weight of each of the units, PDFs with content and the exam structure, as well as the free response sample answers. College Board also updated their site, meaning that it's really easy to navigate and explore. It's also useful to catch any changes to the AP exam, because you don't want to be the person who accidentally study for content that's no longer on the test and have a mental breakdown halfway through the year. Next is to look over the course and exam description PDF that's on the College Board's website for each of your AP subjects. It contains a number of useful information that you would need on the test. These include a comprehensive view of the concept you need to know in the AP exams, how much each unit weighs in the exam, themes you need to address in essays, if there are any, and how your FRQ would be graded. There's a number of ways you can use this and incorporate them into your study routine. If I knew of this earlier, I would use it in these 2 ways. Number 1 is for revision. The CED would tell you what content you need to know for each of the units. So if you can come up with more specific examples for these essential questions and key points and remember how to solve certain problems, you have an idea on how well you might do on the test. The second way I would use it is to look closely at how heavy each unit is weighted in the exam. If you only have a few more weeks until the AP exam, I could look at each of the units and see which one is weighted the most. This way I can focus on a specific unit or specific couple of units in order to maximize my chances of getting a good score. For example, if you look at the AP Bio CED, you'd know that you have the best chance at getting a good score through studying units like natural selection rather than units like chemistry of life. Get a prep book or 2. You don't really need a textbook to self-study unless you really want to read it. Barron's and Princeton both dominate the market. Both work equally well, and you can learn all the content you need to do well on your AP exams. I didn't use a full textbook for the AP I studied. For humanities related books, both worked fine for me. Barron's have more dense information, while Princeton is good for a more overall general review. For more mathematics and science related APs, I heard from my peers that the Barron's was really good. Number 4 is to set the pace. Unlike having an actual class where the teacher keeps you on track, you need to do that yourself. And so it's really important to make a disciplined study schedule that you can work with. One mistake I made while self-studying is that I used up most of the year to learn the content. I only had a few weeks to actually learn how to take the test. It's important to decide by when you would be comfortable enough with the content in order to start working on the multiple choice, the free response. Number 5 is to be careful in the FRQs. You need to be aware of the writing sections and individual criterion you need to hit in order to get the points of the FRQ. For example, for biology, you need to define terms as you go. For AP Comparative Government and Politics, you don't really need a long introduction. For AP World History and US History, long introductions and contextualization is really important. And paragraphs need to be organized by themes, which you can see in the CED. If you have a teacher, it would be wise to have them read it, because you can gain valuable feedback that would significantly improve your writing. In other words, FRQs are so different based on what subjects you're taking, so it will be highly recommended to look into what gets you points. Number 6 is to know the structure. It's super useful to familiarize yourself and know what to expect on the day of the test. When I was self-studying for the AP, as I mentioned before, I focused a lot on learning the content while I left taking the test to the last minute. Practicing applying what you learn to the exam and knowing what kind of questions you might get for the FRQ and MCQ is super crucial. It helps you set the pace for the exam itself, and you would know what you need to prioritize as you divide up your precious time for different sections. In other words, it reduces a lot of stress. Use helpful online resources. If you have access to AP Classroom, it will be best to use it to your advantage. They give you a lot of practice problem sets which you can do in your own time, but usually if you're not taking a class, you don't usually have the AP Classroom. Next best bet is probably Khan Academy. They have some useful videos and also problem sets. But the one that I found most useful was the College Board AP YouTube videos. They're insanely boring but also insanely useful. College Board has a YouTube channel solely for the purpose of reviewing what content you need to know for the test. And they also give you practice problems and sample answers as part of the video. So they're definitely worth looking at. Number 8 is to know that asking teachers for help is an option. If you don't understand the concept that you see in a video or you read in a prep book, you can always ask a teacher for help who teaches a similar class or they teach the same class to upperclassmen. They probably would be very on board helping you if you need some extra help to supplement what you're studying yourself. And I wish I knew this sooner because I didn't ask for any help from my teachers. In summary, the most important thing is to check out the resources provided by a college board, to know the structure of your test, and to not be afraid of asking people for help. That's it for today for AP exams. I hope you found the information somewhat helpful, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Ba, 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 ba.